Daniel and Alex Ladomas. Terrifying chase through the home. Daniel hides his sister. A wedding-dressed man begs for help. Daniel shouts. As the Ladomas family comes, another arrow is shot at the person. Watching, Helene, the bride, begs them to stop. Helene calms down and accepts the situation once the man is gone. 30 years later, Grace sits in her bridal dress in Alex Ladomas' room. Today, she marries Alex Ladomas, despite his family's history of abuse. She is resented by family members who think she wants their money. Grace longs to marry Alex and have children. Alex promises to cancel before the wedding. Grace kisses him, reassuring him. Grace's garden wedding photos followed. Here, the odd Ladomas clan includes creepy Aunt Helene and rude Uncle George. Daniel's elder brother and sister-in-law are Tony and Becky. After meeting most of the supporting actors, we may continue the story. The joyful couple enters the ceremony. After drinking, they rest in Daniel's room. Are you enjoying this video? Click that sexy subscribe button. Grace thought they could spend some time alone, but just as she did, Aunt Helene's appearance confirms the clan's arrival. Alex, feeling Grace's confusion, explains the Ladomas family's habit to legally adopt a new family member at 12 in the morning following the wedding. Grace, the newcomer, must play a game with the family, honoring the Ladomas family's pioneering board game enterprise. Grace appears excited. She joins the family in the music room. Becky, Alex's mother, urges Grace to convince him to stay faithful to the clan and take his position at the family's helm. Ladomas' dominance, familial legacy. Grace accepts, confused. Emily, Alex's sister, uses crack. Besides her opportunist husband Fitch and their 2 new children, Tony Ladomas prepares the youngsters for the game after a servant tucks them in. Chamber discusses game rules and family history. In sum, they think Mr. LaBelle gave their grandfather, Victor Ladomas, a supernatural artifact. Box. After this, Mr. Giantfort gave a lot to Ladomas. In honor of Mr. LaBelle, they play games with this box when they come together. Anticipating a newborn. Inserting a blank card and following the guidelines is simple. To the box, where Mr. LaBelle selected the evening's game. Grace should read the card now. Alex's face and environment change. Grace, who is blissfully unaware of her destiny, is instructed to hide. Everyone else should count to 100 and play hide and seek. Tony Ladomas convinces her they are going to deactivate surveillance equipment as they value ritual and don't recreate the old gameplay. Grace retreats into shadows as Alex's family buys vintage guns. Alex searches the gaming area as Grace hides in the dumbwaiter. Torn, stay in the room as the family searches for Grace. Alex's escape is Charity's responsibility. Charity was unaware. Alex will escape via the maid's wing. After entering the home, Charity finds Alex gone. The dumbwaiter is agitating Grace. She escapes a servant hunting for a child who slipped out of bed at night. But then, Alex rescues her before the servant searching for the missing child arrives. Even so, Emily shooting and killing the maid devastates Grace. Ladomas clan probes, body and scold Emily for killing the bridesmaid. They remain till the family removes the body. Alex hastily blames Grace for everything, playing hide and seek with the family and persuading them to kill Grace before sunrise, or misfortune would strike, infiltrating the maid's chamber. Grace balls. Alex acknowledges that he misjudged her ability. The card is unlikely. He told her he preferred life. He believed he could console Grace by living with her unmarried. He proposed since he knew she desired a serious relationship. He will honor her trust. He tells her to use the kitchen while he uses the bathroom. Security office to unlock all doors. Grace vows to remove her wedding dress skirt to help her go down the aisle. After this corridor, she chooses the left door. She turns around and rushes back to frightened Emily, who fires blindly. Grace avoids the errant gunfire. Grace tries to go but discovers no escape. She cowers against the wall, desperate, and suddenly, Alex's brother Daniel calls. He gladly passes by her and snatches the billiard table booze. He promises not to hurt her. Need the gang to seize her. Grace escapes as Daniel yells. After counting, each family member enters the research to find. Naturally, Grace fled the premises. A maidservant surprises Emily, mistakenly kills her again. Helene Ladomas, exasperated, says that they only have murder Grace till dawn. Becky advises ditching the ritual to save time, using surveillance cameras. They agreed to split. Grace gets a firearm in the arcade. She awaits Alex's kitchen door opening. Grace disappears as the butler enters. Alex penetrated the control room and restarted the cameras. He cannot open the doors. Grace gingerly reloads the shotgun while concealed. As the maid serves tea, Alex unlocks locks using codes. Grace is behind the butler when he hears this, readying the shotgun. She fires, but nothing happens. Butler casually shares. The ammunition is for display only. The teapot strikes him. Tony Ladomas, Alex's father, knocks and bangs on the door. Alex attempts to sabotage the security camera's control panel. Tony rushes in to assault Alex, but Alex easily defeats him. After calming down, Alex begs Daniel to help Grace. Before Daniel responds, Grace anxiously searches the passageways for a hiding place. She finds a scared maid or butler in the dumbwaiter. The servant hurries forward and shouts Grace's whereabouts. The dumbwaiter button, killing the servant. Grace, run again. We find Alex still unconscious in his bedroom, handcuffed to the bed. Alex's Aunt Helene believes he will change. He can help his sweetheart after he discovers he is the future Ladomas leader. Grace listens from the window. She jumps, landing lightly in the woods. Are you enjoying this video? Click that sexy subscribe button. She sprints outside. If a spotlight is seen, she hides in a barn. Georgie, Emily's only child. Finally, Grace appears, but Grace knocks the youngster unconscious in her rage. The goat zaps her. Ditch out. Grace sees dead corpses. She hobbles up, gagging at the stink. As she nears the top, the ladder collapses. To grasp her injured hand, she touches a nail. Despite the pain, she climbs out of the ditch and walks. She removes her sleeve to bandage her hand. Charity shot her as she fled the barn but missed. She then tells the butler where Grace is. Grace approaches the barrier and sees a car coming. Screaming for help, she escapes. The car drives off as she departs. Grace runs into the woods as a car leaves the Ladomas driveway. Turns out, the butler immediately informs his employer of Grace's absence. Tony Ladomas and his family have realized they will all die unless Grace is killed before morning. Unlike his siblings, much to Dad's dismay, Daniel rejects such superstition. He enters and Tony suspects his son Daniel's loyalty following a fight. Alex Ladomas wakes up and struggles to unlock the door. Daniel and Emily remove the dead servants from the barn. In a talk with Daniel, Emily disagrees that the family deserves to perish. Grace has emerged from hiding and is rushing across a field. When the butler arrived, Grace must be brought in alive. He fights her outside the car. She suffocates him with a shredded shirt. She drives away. Grace calls 911 for police help while driving. The operator fulfills her request and informs her that the car is broken. Since her automobile was stolen, corporate regulations prohibit her from driving it. Suggests he must stop her driving. The car stops. Grace relaxes, finding comfort in the idea that 911 was called and police are coming. Even so, after waking up, the butler jabs Grace with sedatives, knocking her asleep. The butler wakes Grace while driving and video chatting with her family. Grace repeatedly hits him in the head, knocking him out and wrecking the car. She survives. Daniel approaches her after arriving, by shotgun. He wants to rescue her, but is too weak. Against his family, she strives to debunk the curse. Nobody died overnight. Daniel regrets knocking her unconscious. Tony appears. Tony had secretly followed Daniel here to see them. Daniel's loyalty test. Becky, Alex's mom, visits him in shackles. Stated she is convinced he will quit helping Grace and help the family. Alex says he would fight for Grace as long as she is nice. He is not crazy like his family. The family is preparing for Grace's ritualistic murder by LaBelle. Grace awakens constrained at the table as her family performs a satanic ritual. They share a chalice. Tony stabs Grace. What then? Daniel may have poisoned his family for Grace. He unbinds her and walks her away. Alex escapes the bedroom. Charity, Daniel's wife, stops them from fleeing in the halls. Someone points a firearm at them. Grace, knowing Daniel would keep her, Charity's next shot kills him. Grace, furious, confronts. Charity knocks her out before checking on life-supporting Daniel. He releases her after Grace keeps going. Tony Ledomas, the father, confronts her. She grabs a lamp, knocks him out, and throws it. Ground and fleeing. Alex searches for Grace but discovers his dying brother. He grieves as Daniel dies in his arms. Grace fights Becky, the mother, in the dining room. Grace murders her by beating her in the head. When Alex arrives, Alex reaches out to Grace, distressed, after her mother and brother died. Alex was enraged and changed her life. Sides, the family is preparing to redo the ritual. They were unaware that the bulb started the fire. Throughout the estate, Alex tries to stab Grace in the chest when they hold her on the dining room table. Grace swerves and escapes. She has a sunny window, signaling dawn and their end. Other clan members dread the curse and scream in sunshine. Ledomas appear fine. Aunt Helene insists Grace be executed. She bursts with an axe. After Helene, all Ledomas died. Randomly explodes. Grace giggles uncontrollably as Alex approaches like a scared child. Seeking comfort, Grace already dislikes. She wants a break from him. A blurry guy briefly emerges at the table. Mr. LaBelle. Bloody, dirty. Grace smokes on the porch after leaving the burning house. I do not know, she says when the cops arrive. The end. Time for some sexy slow-mo. Did you enjoy the video? Click that sexy subscribe button. Now click this video. Don't miss its shocking and sexy ending.